Towards the southeastern corner of the South Island of New Zealand is the city of Dunedin, the hub of the central Otago region and the 7th most populated area in New Zealand. The city itself is a fascinating blend of old and new, with grand architecture and churches dating back to the 1840s spread between massive street art murals, all tinged with a youthful vibe from the large student population based in the city.
A short drive to the east of Dunedin is the Otago Peninsula, one of the most beautiful stretches of coastline we found anywhere in New Zealand, and home to some wonderful, rare wildlife, including blue penguins, seals, sea lions, and a giant albatross breeding colony.
Dunedin is somewhat out of the way of the main tourist trail around the South Island, and plenty of visitors do not include it in their itinerary. But if you are passing by, Dunedin and the areas nearby have plenty to offer for a few nights. Here's what we got up to.
Good morning from Otago Farmers Market, which is held every Saturday from 8 till 12:30.
And Lauren is on the scoreboard with a
Almond and chocolate puff pastry.
almond and chocolate puff pastry. This is really nice, this is really big. It's all set under the arches of the old railway station. Well, I say old, I don't know, is it still used? Not sure.
I know there's a train down there.
That looks old too. I should explain that Lauren takes this sport extremely seriously. She loves farmers markets. So I've ordered the coffee and she's gone off to play. Thoughts?
Comparing to Arrowtown, this is actually a farmer's market. There is so many farmers out here with lots of fruit, vegetables, baked goods. It is exactly what you want for a farmer's market, and it's not unreasonably priced either. Everything is pretty good, and it's all seasonal, so you're kind of shopping healthy, living healthy, and you know,
And there's coffee.
There's coffee, but we just tried some cherries which were in season, which were sublime.
And now we buy everything.
Now we play.
We bought everything, dropped it in the van, and continued our tour.
So, according to Lauren and the internet, this building here, the Dunedin railway station, is the most photographed building in the Southern Hemisphere. But
It's obviously covered in scaffolding when we come.
everything is always covered in scaffolding when we're there. That's what it should look like. Never mind.
It's probably very beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, you can see how beautiful it is from this side. Very striking design. The gardens are lovely. We are going to go for a little explore. Time to see Dunedin. Oh wow. Memorial to people who worked at the railways who fell in the First World War.
Inside the station is a small art gallery run by the Otago Art Society, which was nice for a quick walk around. The station also houses the New Zealand Sports Hall of Fame, which is well reviewed, albeit we did not have time to visit on this occasion.
Not been here yet. This is the Hast River area at the south end of the west coast. But my goodness, am I excited to see it if it looks like that. For a little free art gallery, this is really nice. There is a big ass street art trail around Dunedin, and this is number 1 of 32 on the map. This is by an artist called Faith47 from South Africa. It's very good. We are on George Street, which I feel like we would have easily missed actually. It's really nice down here. It's only 200 metres from town, but there's nothing that really kind of points you here or brings you in this direction. But it looks nice. We are still going down the same street, which stretches on quite a long way. But we did have a sort of moment of realisation. Those of you who saw our Melbourne video will remember that we really loved the suburb of Fitzroy. It was kind of cool and hip and trendy, and this feels like kind of Dunedin's stab at that. Obviously it's a much smaller place, so you don't get quite the same, but it's not a bad effort at all. It's quite fun down here. What do we think? Who does the pose better, people? Giant lizard. These are by a New Zealand and a Belgian artist. That is St Paul's Anglican Cathedral, one of the first cathedrals in New Zealand. Next to, I think this is the town hall, but it is of course covered in scaffolding. That is an organ and a half. It's amazing. It's a really beautiful church.
Fun fact, the music coming from the organ was so intense and brilliant that we thought it was coming from some sort of computer input. However, it turned out that hiding behind a well-placed pillar in the corner of the church...
Oh, there's someone playing. So this is newer, this section you can see.
So this was supposed to be a very big, you know, the centerpiece in the middle, and
Yeah.
going up to the street. So we finished it like this.
I see. So when was this bit finished?
This bit was finished in 1971.
1971.
We were the second couple to be married here. At this
3,500 different pipes up there. I'm sorry, I didn't get your name before.
Margaret Murphy.
Margaret Murphy. We have met organ player Margaret Murphy. What a treat. You were the second person to get married in this cathedral, you said.
First person
Amazing.
to pay
First
the-
person to pay that organ, but from up there. Brilliant. So we're still standing in the church. So the foundation stone of the St Paul's Church was laid on the 3rd of June 1862. The building was £3,140 and it opened on the 5th of April 1863. And it has rather grown since then. Fabulous. Margaret Murphy on the organ, everybody. Number 5, number 6, and mural number 7. Fantastic. The size of these artworks. That's brilliant. And there's another one in the alley just across here. Oh wow, it goes on the ceiling, that's funny. Oh god, it goes all the way around. Look at that. That's beautiful. There's a memorial here to the Reverend Thomas Burns, who lived from 1796 to 1871, who was the first Presbyterian minister of the province, co-leader of the settlement of Otago, and the first chancellor of the university here. And it sits just on the walls of this church grounds. And we're going there. Ah, there you go. This is the
1848.
first church of Otago, founded in 1848, which makes it just slightly older than the St Paul's one. I think a couple of years. I'll have to go back to my notes. And artwork number 10 on the side there. This is really beautiful. And this looks like it could be the original wooden roof. It looks very old. Beautiful stained glass windows. Look at the size of these murals on the side of this hotel. And there's another one across the entire wall over there. Wow, these are amazing. Look at that. How wonderful is that? By an artist called Natalia Rack. This is a great way of just getting to see a place, because you don't really choose where you're going, you just follow and you just get hints of a place's history on the way. So you've got the Union Steamship Company of New Zealand, we've seen fruit companies, the National Mortgage Agency Company of New Zealand, and then you get treated to a little bit of street art along the way. What a way to walk around and see a place. Beautiful war memorial here in the city centre, really towering, very visible from so many places in the city. Welcome to the Otago Settlers Museum. This greenstone boulder sits at the entrance to the museum. It was found from the Whakatipua area. Whakatipua, yeah. And it has been imbued with the Maori, which means life force, of the museum. It's beautiful. Amazing. Here we go.
Thence came the people to this land. Waitaha, Tati Mamoi, Maitaha, who to this day.
The Otago Settlers Museum is a social history museum telling the story of the people of Dunedin and the surrounding Otago region. It has a wide range of exhibits covering the history of the area, the culture of those who settled it, and the technologies, fashions, art and transportation that shaped their lives. So this is very cool. So this whole room is surrounded with images of some of the early settlers in the region. There are 4 terminals like this. Would you like to show how they work, darling?
Yeah, it's an interactive system, so you just click on whichever person's face. Gives you a little bit of information about them, what boat they arrived on, what location they are on the wall itself, but you get to learn a little bit about the history.
What a great way to sort of preserve as much information as you've got about this incredible room full of people. Look at this. Captain William Cargill. So we've learned that Dunedin was called the Edinburgh of the South originally because it was a very large Scottish community that came here and a similar style of architecture to Edinburgh. Back in the earlier days of luxury camper vanning, imagine pulling that along behind you. It's bigger than my first flat. In certain places and from certain spots, Dunedin is quite pretty. Beautiful garden here in front of the railway station. Really lovely. Good afternoon. It is 2 o'clock on Sunday. We have had a wildly lazy but very good morning. We are driving east from Dunedin to go and see 2 really wonderful things. The only mainland colony where giant albatrosses breed anywhere in the world is about 20 kilometres ahead of us down this road. And there are also a very rare variety of very small blue penguin, and I think yellow penguins as well, which breed on a similar bit of land also just down here. So we have booked back-to-back tours to go and see the birds, I think from a boat, and then go and see the penguins and hopefully some seals and sea lions. And it should be a really nice day. This place looks a bit like the Shire again. This is
beautiful.
gorgeous. The ocean's on our right, well, and on our left. And we are heading out of downtown Dunedin. Look at this. That's magnificent.
Oh, it looks like a rave. The rave down there.
That's just breathtaking. Holy moly, that's gorgeous. Why isn't everyone in Dunedin screaming at people to come and see this? Wow. This is rapidly becoming one of the most spectacular drives we've done. This is just
Beaches and water everywhere.
I just don't have words to describe it.
Look at these mountains though.
Look at that. It's absolutely outrageous.
With every twist and turn, you see something, another extremely beautiful view.
Look at that. I mean, I know Lauren can't because she's watching the road, but we can.
You guys have fun.
Is that the prettiest thing you've ever seen from a road? It's got to be up there. There's a little burrow down there where the little penguin cubs are nesting. We don't take photos because we don't want to upset them and scare them. They're easily spooked. This place is really cool. So we're at a place called Nature's Wonders. It's a privately owned property just out here on the edge of the peninsula, 40 kilometres away from Dunedin roughly. This is private land. You've got to pay to go on a tour. But it is A, beautiful, say hello to the Pacific Ocean, B, covered in seals, which are extraordinarily well camouflaged, but I will show you on the camera where they are, and C, one of the few breeding places in the world where you find these tiny blue penguins, and we just got to see some of the pups, but we weren't allowed to take photos. Say hello to the sea lion cub. Oh, he's gorgeous. There's a much bigger one slobbed out over there. To be fair, it's Sunday, so, you know, chill out day. Oh, so beautiful. Oh, there's another one next to him. Oh, look, good spot by Lauren. There's one just sitting and hiding in the water there. Oh, it's tiny. Oh, that's like 50 centimeters or something. Oh, look at it wriggling. Yes, we see your belly. There's two little seal pups playing down there in the pool. Oh.
That's very Sunday.
Lauren likes this one.
Very Sunday afternoon.
Having a Sunday snooze. So we just learned that these are seals. They get up to about 200 kilos. Sea lions are 300, 500, and the biggest are 2 tons. So these guys own all this land privately, which means they can make sure that no one walks on it. No one has walked on this beach in 20 years. And that makes this all safe space for birds to breed.
Another reason why, actually.
Lauren is holding a penguin egg.
$50,000 fine if you were caught with one of these. Obviously
Beautiful.
not here.
Yeah?
Did you know that? It's $250,000 fine.
If you're caught taking one of these,
Yeah,
I'll give it back to you in a minute.
Trust me.
Wow.
We're allowed them. We're allowed them. Pretty cool though, isn't it?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Really beautiful.
It's pretty unique, eh?
Yeah. We've just seen such cute, tiny little penguins.
1 month old.
1 month old, fluffy, tiny little thing. So cute.
But we have to be quiet so we don't upset it or disturb it. It's just round the corner in a little burrow behind one of these little wooden sort of holes. So All credit to the family who own and run this place. The gentleman told us that just a couple of weeks ago they got offered $48 million by a company that wants to put 8 hotels up here, and they said no. This place is being preserved for the next 1,000 years so that the natural environment can thrive, and we could do with more like that in the world. Credit to them. Well, that was really awesome. Next up is the Albatross Express, also run through Nature's Wonders, the same company. We've just got to drive to the jetty. Unfortunately, as you can see, the cloud has kind of come in. Wow, I mean, visibility's down to about 400 meters. Let's see how we go. Tour number 2 for the day. Welcome to the Albatross Express.
As you can see, the old river here, she changes quite a bit here. When we actually hit, so I can travel so far.
It's a giant albatross.
Pretty special.
So over here on the mainland is it's the only place in the world where these giant albatross birds nest on a mainland rather than on an island somewhere. My goodness, that was a little bit windy. Those are giant albatross flying in the sky.
See the albatross?
Wow.
Right above us, guys. Right over the lighthouse.
That's amazing. We are in a tiny little place called Portobello, familiar name to fellow Londoners. My grandma used to work on Portobello Road. She had a market stall there for over 30 years. I think it's fair to say that boat ride was pretty side to side. It's left us both feeling a little queasy, so we've stopped to grab some sugary drinks to settle the stomachs, and then we will head back to our campsite. They say you get 4 seasons in a day in New Zealand, and we've gone from 25 degrees warm and sunny to thick cloud and fog. And a tiny little hint of beach down there, which is gorgeous in the light. Look at that. What a thing to be driving towards. That's Dunedin on the right over there.
We drove back to Dunedin, and seeing as the sun had come out, we parked up at the beach for a much needed walk. Along the way, we spotted a huge sea lion who was chilling in the sunshine in the middle of the beach.
Dunedin had been something of a surprise, and whilst we had enjoyed exploring the city itself, the undoubted highlight had been our fantastic afternoon at Nature's Wonders, watching the seals play, the tiny blue penguins in their dens, and the giant albatrosses soaring overhead. We had a really wonderful couple of days, and if you do find yourself in the area, Dunedin is worth a stop.
Next time on the Doms Down Under.
Do you know where in New Zealand is properly gorgeous, other than, everywhere? The Banks Peninsula.
We spent 4 nights on the Banks Peninsula, just to the south of Christchurch, with a visit to the remote beaches of O'Kane's Bay and a brilliant few days in the quirky town of Akaroa. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time.